Soya is one of the most important cash crops in India, being cultivated by more than 8 million farmers. Yields have grown significantly over the last 20 years. However, there's untapped potential to more than double yields to reach the levels seen in other major production zones such as the US, Brazil, and Argentina. There are significant challenges to achieving this, though as many regions in the soya belt of India have poor soil fertility and limited irrigation facilities due to low-lying water tables. This can have a major impact on productivity if there's a rainfall deficit during flowering or fruit development. Conservation tillage techniques combined with organic fertilizers can help to address these issues by reducing water loss and rebuilding levels of organic content in the field. Using a seed drill with good quality seeds can lead to significant yield increase in this system. Increased yields can be achieved even when using local farm seeds if it is sorted and treated with the combined FIR treatment, that is, fungicide, insecticide, and Rizobacter, to inoculate the root nodules with nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Combining these practices with a number of other improved practices in areas such as pest and disease management can help to transform soya production from a risky business to a profit-making enterprise for Indian farmers. So, the challenge is to identify which practices adapt well to a particular location and then be able to prove to farmers that this is a good practice that can increase their yields. The soya yield estimation tool allows us to capture real field data on how different practices and inputs perform in real field conditions by directly linking these with yield data, meaning we can highlight differences to farmers with the crop still present. Let's walk you through the training on how the yield estimate is built up. First, we need to know the soya variety sown, as the weight of the soya bean seeds varies significantly by variety. Then we enter the field and measure the row-to-row spacing in centimeters and enter this in the phone app. Next, we measure out a 10-meter length along a row inside the field and then count the number of plants in the 10-meter row. Once the number of plants in the 10-meter row length is entered, we count back 5 plants from the last plant counted and then count the number of pods on this plant. This forces us to select a random plant in the row rather than taking a risk of selection bias where we would be tempted to pick a healthy-looking plant if left to choose the plant ourselves. After entering the number of pods in the app automatically generates a random selection of a pod, perhaps the 5th from the top, and directs the extension worker to count the number of seeds in this pod. In case the selected pod has no seeds showing due to immaturity of the pod, a nearby pod which can be seen to have developed seed bumps should be picked and counted instead. This should then be repeated 9 more times across the field in a pattern like this to ensure that differences in soil fertility and water holding capacity of the soil can be taken into account. At the end of the counting, an assessment of any agronomic or pest issues seen should be noted down so that these can be taken into account in the final assessment of yields and practices. The phone app will then calculate a yield estimate for the field, which can also be compared with the farmer's estimate and the final harvested yield reported by the farmer. This allows us to independently, ahead of the harvest, assess the likely outcome of practices and then also be able to bring other farmers to see a standing crop with good outcomes, helping to support more widespread adoption of good practices. The data captured also allows us to integrate research institutions to validate how practices adapt to local environments and can also help with the development and characterization of pest and disease-resistant seed varieties, which can have a further large impact. The end result is a mechanism to incorporate farmers, extension workers, and researchers in an integrated system to continually improve cropping practices and drive yield improvements. This is, however, only the beginning, and we need to work hard to improve the scope of practices that we can monitor as well as to develop programs which integrate extension training and feedback more tightly. We can also look to build in more field worker capabilities such as greater multimedia training content to support group learning and interactivity with farmer groups. We will also look to add an inspection certification module to allow extension workers to more easily inspect fields thanks to embedded training and supporting questions for RTRS, GAP, organic and other required quality certifications. These tools can then be extended to partner NGO programs to enhance our partners' delivery capabilities. The final step will be to extend the suite of tools to other important cash crops such as sugarcane, cotton, and rice.